This video is a language lab to help you write and speak grammatically correct English perfect tenses. After watching the video and reading the book that comes with it, you will never again hesitate between have ate and have eaten, have drove and have driven, have took and have taken, have went and have gone, have wrote and have written, and all other irregular verbs that give headache to even the most highly educated people. Before we start our language lab, here is the book I wrote to help you or people you know who make such an error get rid of the perfect tense error forever. This is the only resource you need to do so. Perfecting Your Tenses, a quick guide to mastering English perfect tenses for busy professionals, executives, media personalities, politicians. People from all walks of life makes that error. And the link to the book will be found in the description box below. Here is a set of grammatically incorrect perfect tense sentences. If he had did his homework, he would have passed the test. Okay? Had did. What's the verb here? What's the main verb here? The main verb here is to do. Okay? She shouldn't have drove to the airport. She shouldn't have drove to the airport. What's the main verb here? The main verb here is to drive. They had ate all the sandwiches. What's the main verb in that sentence? The main verb is to eat. Eat. The managers have went to the headquarters to meet with the CFO. Have went. What's the main verb in had went? To go. To go is the main verb. Here is another set of grammatically incorrect sentences said or written by people from all walks of life every day. If he had knew you were coming, he would have brought in more chairs. Had knew. Okay, had knew is incorrect. What's the main verb here? To know. Okay, we'll correct them later. To know is the main verb here. If I had saw the email, I would have replied sooner. What's the main verb here? In had saw. The main verb is to see. Okay. If she had took the subway, she wouldn't have been stuck in traffic. Okay. Had took. What's the main verb in had took? To take. Okay. They would have wrote the report sooner if they weren't overwhelmed with other tasks. What's the main verb here? In would have wrote, what's the main verb? To write. Okay. So we'll go through them and step by step correct them. Here is the list of the incorrectly conjugated verb that we have seen earlier. Okay, this is about eight verbs, and there are more than 30 other verbs that give headache, irregular verbs that give headache to a lot of people. Okay, there are at least 5 or 6 score of irregular verbs, but there are about 40 of them that give headache. Okay, among those 40, here is just 8 of them. There are more than 30 other verbs that give headache. Okay, in most grammar book, you'll find 3 columns. 1 column is for the infinitive. We'll see the other columns later. Did, drove, ate, went, knew, saw, took, wrote. What's the tense of all these verbs? This is a verb form. What's the tense here? It's the simple past tense. Okay, and this is the second column in most grammar books. okay, describing irregular verbs. Okay, these are just about 8 verbs, and there are more than 5 or 6 scores of irregular verbs. About 40 of them give headache to a lot of people. Okay, so we're going to see these 8 here, but in the book I wrote, you'll find the other more than 30 other irregular verbs that give headache to a lot of people. So watching this video and reading that book will be very helpful to you or to people you know who make that error, to get rid of the error forever. It's a book you can read in about 2 hours one morning, but you keep it as a reference book to go back to until you get into the habit of completely avoiding the error. Done, driven, eaten, gone, known, seen, taken, written. What's the verb forms of all these verbs? What's the verb form here? Okay, this is simple past, and this is infinitive. Usually in the third column, what do we have? We have the past participles. All these verbs are past participle. Okay, this is just about 8 verbs out of 40 that give headache to a lot of people. After looking at those verb forms, the 3 different verb forms, infinitive, simple past, and past participle, let's look at the mechanics of perfect tense construction. Okay, to build a perfect tense, to construct a perfect tense, what do you add to the auxiliary or the modal auxiliary? Auxiliary, for instance, I have done, have is auxiliary. I would have done, would have is the modal auxiliary. Okay, what do you add? What verb form of the main verb do you add? What form? Do you add the infinitive? Do you add the simple past? Or you add the past participle? Okay, I can tell you, you add the past participle. It is only the past participle that you can add. It will never be correct if you add the simple past to the auxiliary or modal auxiliary. Okay, so but people's error is not limited to not knowing the past participle. I mean, a lot of people know that they're supposed to add the past participle. The problem arises when you get confused between what is past participle and what is a simple past. Okay, so here in our examples we have only eight verbs, and there are more than 30 other verbs that give headache. You will find all of them in the book. So by reading this book, you will get rid of that error forever. And that's the only book that can help you do that so far. Now let's go back to our sentences. If he had did his homework, okay, we know the main verb here is to do, okay, and had did is wrong. Did is simple past, okay, is never supposed to accompany the auxiliary or modal auxiliary. So what are we supposed to have here? A past participle. And what's the past participle of to do? Done. Okay, done is the past participle of to do. So it is supposed to be if he had done his homework. Okay. She shouldn't have drove to the airport. Have drove. The verb is to drive. The main verb is to drive. And what's the past participle of to drive? Is driven, not drove. Drove is a simple past. They had ate all the sandwiches. Okay, the main verb here is to eat. Okay, ate is simple past. Okay, and are we supposed to have simple past here? No, we're supposed to have a past participle. And what's the past participle of to eat? Is eaten. So they had eaten all the sandwiches. The managers have went to the headquarters to meet with the CFO. have went. What's the main verb here? To go. Okay. What's the past participle of to go? Is it went? No. Went is a simple past. The past participle of to go is gone. Here is our second set of sentences. If he had knew, okay, the main verb here is to know. Is knew supposed to be here? No. Because knew is a simple past. It doesn't fit. Simple past does not go with the auxiliary or the modal auxiliary. This is auxiliary. Had is an auxiliary. Okay. So we're supposed to have the past participle here. Okay. And what's the past participle of to know? Is known. Okay. So next, if I had saw, what's the main verb here? To see. Okay. And what's the past participle of to see? It's seen, not saw. Saw is not supposed to be here. So it's if I had seen. If she had took the subway, okay, the main verb here is what? To take. And took is what? Simple past verb form. Okay. Is simple past verb form supposed to be here? No. What's supposed to be here? Past participle. And what's the past participle of to take? Taken. Okay. If she had taken the subway. They would have wrote. What's the main verb here? To write. Okay. Wrote is what? Simple past. Is simple past supposed to be here to accompany the modal auxiliary? Okay, modal auxiliary would have. This is different from auxiliary. Would is a modal. So modal auxiliary. Okay, they will have wrote. They will have wrote correct? No, because wrote is a simple past. It doesn't fit. It's not supposed to be here. What's the right verb form here? Past participle. And what's the past participle of to write? Written. Okay, so the correct sentence will be, they will have written the report sooner if they weren't overwhelmed with other tasks. Thou shalt not hesitate between have ate and have eaten. From now on, you know you will never say again have ate, have drove, have took, have went, have wrote. So all these are wrong, wrong, wrong. So never again say them. If you were ever confused between these and these, you know this is incorrect. All these are incorrect, and your only choice is to use past participle with the auxiliary or modal auxiliary. So this is just about 5 verbs, and there are around 40 of them that give headache. Around 40 irregular verbs that give headache. There are more than 5 or 6 scores of irregular verbs, but about 40 of them give headache to a lot of people. So with this video, with this language lab, and with the book that you'll find in the description box below, you will never again hesitate between these verb forms, because you're getting confused between simple past verb form and past participle verb form. And this is the only resource that will help you get rid of that error forever. So this is our first set of sentences, this time written grammatically correctly. Okay, if he had done, she shouldn't have driven, they have eaten, the manager have gone. And the second set of sentences written grammatically correctly, okay, had known, okay, if he had known you were coming, if I had seen the email, if she had taken the subway, they would have written. If you have learned something from this language lab, please like the video and share it with your friends who might need it as well. And consider subscribing to the channel so as we can get you notified every time we create a content on the channel. Thank you very much. Beyond those few examples, this book has everything you need to get rid of that error forever. Grab your copy today by clicking on the link inside the description box below. Thank you for participating in this language lab with me. This book can also be a perfect gift to your friends and family members. So grab a copy today by clicking on the link inside the description box below. Thank you very much, and I look forward to sharing more content with you.